The Hamish and Andy Show podcast. Powered by Amy. Lucky you're with Amy. This is Hamish and Andy's Happy Hour. An entire hour dedicated to one topic. And today's topic is Survivor. And what an apt topic Survivor is. Because for two men, the radio landscape is a vast and unpredictable terrain. Every day, Hamish and Andy are isolated inside a studio. No food, no water, no outside contact.
No, there's plenty of food.
Oh, and we have outside contact too. We got guests on, talk to movie stars and stuff about films they got coming up.
The conditions are brutal. The space is confined and a thick stench strangles the air.
Well, it shouldn't. I mean,
No, we don't live here.
no, it's just 1 hour. You can't really stink up a room in 1 hour.
So prop up a tree shelter, fetch one of those sharpened sticks castaways used to spear fish, and prepare for a special edition of Hamish and Andy's Happy Hour Survivor.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Hamish and Andy with you. Going tribal today, Ham, as we do one topic a day on this show. Today the topic is Survivor.
Now, we could be talking about the game. A lot of people have written in about the band who sung Eye of the Tiger
and many other hits.
Could I just give you a quick example of an email here in hamishandy.com/topics. Rowena has contacted us. Happy lassie, Rowena. Said, look, when she was at school, they did a Glee mashup of I Will Survive. And they all tried their hardest. It didn't go down too well with the parents. They didn't have a lot of rehearsal time. Afterwards, her mum said to her, I thought the song was meant to look ironic because you were singing about surviving, but you guys were dying on stage.
Nice little bit of feedback.
Survivor, Eye of the Tiger, and I Will Survive. Yeah, tough one from Mum. Rowena has not since attempted a Glee mashup.
We are going to cover off actual survivors in the real world. We're going to play a real life radio version of Survivor later on in this hour. But straight after this, talk to someone who went to school with one of the Survivor contestants. Yes, not a contestant on Survivor.
What a get. That is the level the Happy Hour will go to, getting you exclusive interviews with people that knew someone on a show that's not on anymore.
Today the topic is Survivor. Most people gravitated towards the TV show Survivor.
In about its millionth season now.
I think it's just under a million.
Just under a mil.
Yeah.
Good luck, Jeff Probst and the gang.
Yes.
Feel like you can get there. Remember the Australian Survivor? Not the American one set in Australia, but we had one season.
One season.
Of the Australian
Everyone
Survivor.
complained that they're only playing for $250,000.
Yeah.
Which is still a lot of money.
It's a lot of
just
money.
to
But I
sit
remember it was
outside
also...
and eat a leaf
Was it
occasionally.
in Australia as well?
I think so.
So there just seemed to be no real excitement. It was a bunch of Aussies hanging out on a beach.
I think it was one of those TV
It was sort of
deals.
Home and Away without the diner.
Yes.
Well, we haven't found someone from that series.
No. What we have found, Ham, due to the excellent correspondence at hamishandy.com/topic, is a happy lassie called Quinn who says her sister's favourite show is Survivor. And she went to school with a girl that was in a recent season of Survivor, but did really badly. I'm interested to hear about this one. Quinn joins us from the US. How are you, Quinn?
Great. How are you guys?
Very good, Quinn. Hey, thanks for getting in touch with us. And so what was the name of the contestant that you knew?
So her name's Julia, and she was actually only on the show for a little bit because she wasn't very good.
Was she?
She's a very nice girl, which I think is probably not an asset in the Survivor game.
Just too chirpy, too bubbly, and easy prey.
Yeah, I mean she's a professional race car driver, and they actually approached her and said, "Would you want to apply?" instead of her just applying by herself.
Yeah, right. So is this how it works? Did you go to school in the same year level as this girl?
Yeah, well, we go to college. She's a year older than me, but she was my best friend's roommate.
Is she the most famous person that's come out of the college?
No, actually, the girl who was across the hall from me was a gold medalist in water polo.
Yeah.
As a fame test,
yes.
What was the Survivor girl's name? And then give us the gold medalist's name, and we'll see if any ring a bell here in Australia.
So her name's Julia Landauer.
Is she the Survivor girl?
Yeah, and then we had a couple of gold medalists. One of them was Annika Swanson.
Oh, you went to school with
And
Annika
then-
Swanson.
Annika Swanson. Talk us through with Julia. If she had won Survivor,
Yeah.
would she have been more famous, do you think, than the gold medal water polo player?
Well, we also have Andrew Luck, who's the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. So
Yeah.
she might have been up there with him, but
What
not.
are the famous people went? It sounds like quite a fame factory.
Yeah. What college is this?
Stanford.
Stanford. Oh, great. I mean,
okay,
huge
yeah,
fame
good,
factory.
good.
Well, can you reel off another few people just so we get an idea of where Julia sits in the fame rankings?
Yeah.
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
so she's
he's up
below
there.
Tiger. Anyone else?
We've got Condoleezza Rice teaching right now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a big
that's
one.
good.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, how about this question? Who can you name someone who is famous but less famous than Julia, who went on Survivor?
That's a good one.
Ooh. Probably the bronze diver medalist.
The bronze.
Right. So, being on Survivor puts you somewhere around a silver medal.
Yeah, it's approximately a silver medal and a half.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. That's a good thing to know. It's great to know what the fame level in America gets
Exchange
you.
rate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what you get for being about a silver medalist. Good result.
That's
and that's
getting
voted out early.
That's voted out early. I think, obviously, if you make it through to the final
You win the
two-
million, and I'd say if you went back to All-Star Survivor, you're nipping at Tiger Woods' heels.
Thanks very much, Quinn. Today the topic is Survivor, Ham. So much correspondence, people coming in,
A ton, Ando.
wanting their ticket to the show, and they can only do that by emailing at hamishnetty.com/topics. So we should get through some fast biz.
Fast biz, top three.
Number three.
Number three, Ando. This comes in from Happy Lassie Charlie. She's written in, and I don't think it's uncommon that when she was growing up, her mum used on her a phrase that a lot of people get used on them. When they're not finishing their dinner, often you get a bit of, think of the kids in Africa.
Yeah.
Think of kids in poverty-stricken areas that would love this food. But it didn't really wash on Charlie and her brothers and sisters, and they didn't really process it. So her mum then came up with something that she thought would be more appropriate to communicate the plight of starvation a bit better. It then became common in the household for her mum to say, just think of the celebrities on Celebrity Treasure Island, which was a Survivor-type TV show that was airing in about 2000, because those guys were also starving. Charlie doesn't remember if it actually made her eat her vegetables or not, but it certainly
The
did
thoughts
paint,
of Peter Andre
it painted a more vivid picture.
having his abs wilt away due to malnourishment.
Having to eat an ab.
Number two.
Come, happy chappy, Max Wilsonham writes in and says, friend of me talked about an idea of a Survivor party where all the guests get voted out.
Don't do it!
Do not do it, is what I'm saying.
Andy and I have been there, done that.
Not only have I done this in post-high school situation with friends, which resulted in Christine Pappas getting voted out very early and going into tears, people wanting to leave the party to
doesn't
console
work.
her, the other Ross who was running the party saying, well, you're not allowed to leave until you're voted out. That's how it works,
Yeah.
so no one could console her. 'cause
He
she's out
likes
the
playing
party.
by the rules, Ross.
Yeah.
We've done this
We've
in a
done-
work situation for 3 years in a row. The radio station thought it would be a good idea for when we all went away, everyone that was on air, off air, behind the scenes, we were all going away for the weekend, guys, team bonding, let's play Survivor, without thinking, hang on a sec, isn't that a show that's based on backstabbing and forming alliances to screw over your teammates and people you pretend to be friends with?
Nothing fractures workplace relations more than this
Every
game.
year there was a fight, tears, storm outs, Andy got pushed over.
I had a physical altercation with the fabulous Adam Richard.
Douglas Hazard lifted Andy up off his feet and threw him into a kitchen during a particularly heated tribal council.
So, Max, if I can
God's
say,
sake.
please burn the idea. Burn your email. Burn the
A
idea.
much more fun TV show to do is It's a Knockout.
Number one.
Ando, I've just had an idea. This is not an email, but it's something I'd like to try. I was very into Survivor Season 1. To a lesser extent, Season 2, I probably lost in Season 3. Every now and then I like to dip back into Survivor, but the person I was obsessed about it with was our mate Ryan.
Yeah, you guys
We would watch
loved
it religiously, and we love the theme song. For people that are familiar with the theme song, there's a bit at the start that's sort of like a flute or a man singing.
It goes like this.
Well, that's me doing it, but then, then the actual sound effect is this.
It's a bit like that.
It goes like this. 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 It goes like Here's what I reckon. I want us to give Ryan a call now. Yeah. Cold call him.
Yeah.
And all I'm going to do is make that noise and then start singing. And I reckon I can make him he'll just join in.
All right, let's do it.
Hello?
Oh,
it's Jeff Probst.
Yep.
Hello. This is good.
I was convinced you'd
So
join in singing
I thought you'd start singing along, right?
All right. No, I wouldn't want to interrupt. It was too good.
But I love James' face. I don't really getting slower and slower, more upset about this.
Don't really know the rest of the song either. We'll try again, ready, right?
It's good fun, guys. Great stuff. It's definitely the best.
Realise you need to know the song. It is a tough song to sing.
It's the happy hour.
It's tough to sing.
Yeah,
it's
thanks,
really
mate.
good to catch up.
No, I'll speak to you later.
See ya.
Time for a bit of an international correspondence from Auckland.
Yeah, right.
This is from Happy Chappy Jimmy. On the topic of Survivor, I want to say this up front. It's the longest email I've ever seen.
Did you get to the end?
No, didn't even
Wow.
get to the end of the first
One
sentence.
Because one of my mum's travel emails.
Because what I
No
did,
offence, Mum, but all the food sounds delicious, but I don't have time to read all the descriptions.
it said I'm 20 years old and I'm in my fourth form, and I went on an outdoor adventure. And then I figured, I got to that point and I went, if he's written this much about it,
Yeah.
it must be epic. It's a risk.
So you haven't even read the email?
Haven't read the email
and
at all.
this is just to fill in the blanks. Again, not too dissimilar than Mum's travel emails. I get it and just say, why don't we just have a chat about this and you can tell me the stories?
I just figured it must be something huge. If it isn't, I've made a blunder.
Understand? But
And
at least he's got it off his chest because he's written a big, long email to
at
someone.
the cost of an international call, because he joins us now. Jimmy, welcome to the happy hour.
How are you, Jimmy?
Oh, good, thanks, Andy. And Hamish.
Talk us through the story,
What
because
was,
I have no
what was the
idea
email?
what happened.
Andy didn't have time to read it, but let's hear the story.
I had time. It just was long. I'd prefer to hear
Didn't
it
have
from-
the energy. We'd love to hear the story.
Yeah, sure thing. Well, I stayed at this camp on the western side of Taupo, and it was an outdoor adventure camp, and we had cross-country races coming up. So I thought I'd go for a training run, and I went up the back in this old mill road and took a turn off into the bush, thinking that it would link back up with the camp.
Oh, no. How old were you at this stage?
I was 14.
Oh, child in the bush.
And the other thing was I hadn't told anyone where I was going.
Oh, phantom child in the bush.
So I took this turn off and was just convinced that it would somehow link back up with our camp. And I was running down it for a good hour, but I just kept thinking, oh, look, this is going to link back up.
All roads lead to camp.
And then I heard this noise, and it was a snort. And this pig from out of nowhere, a wild boar, ran almost, it was like it was almost charging at me, but it ran straight past me, squealing. And I was so terrified, I just sprinted into the bush and just got even more horribly lost.
No, scared phantom child in the bush with a pig on his tail.
Yes.
And then I didn't want to go back the way I came. One, because I didn't know where to go, and two, because there was a pig somewhere back there. And then I heard this noise, and I thought it was cars, but I was bush bashing through this bush and got down as a river.
Yeah.
So here we go. Yeah. So you got a pig on your tail. You're in the bush. Phantom child, pig on tail.
And you decided
Did Phantom child get in the river?
Yeah.
Where'd that lead you?
I finally got to a farm when it turned pitch black with night, and I could see this one light in the horizon.
Oh,
and
farmer's daughter.
Yeah, and I jumped all these fences. Most of them were electric.
Oh, and you were wet.
How far from the camp did you end up?
It was about 20-odd K.
Oh, jeez. Good training run. How'd you go in the cross country?
Yeah, I actually won.
Hey!
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Who picked you up? How'd you find your way back?
Well, I stuck out my thumb because I wasn't going to walk back.
No.
So, and this lovely lady picked me up. She was like an angel.
Pig in a mask.
And she and she gave me a 2.5 litre Sprite.
Oh, she is an angel.
Yeah.
And so do you get like the day off camp the next day and something like that, or?
Well, they when I got back, they were just about to send out a search party,
Yeah, right.
and they said, "Oh, look, we'd punish you, but you've probably had enough punishment as it is.
Yeah.
So we'll get you to stand up in front of the whole camp and say how terrifying it is to be lost in the bush on your own."
And then you have to spend a night in a room with an angry pig.
Incredible story. Thank you very much. I think worthwhile.
Worth the tell. Worth skipping the email.
Yes.
Great work, mate.
Thanks, Jimmy. Really appreciate it, mate.
We're going to send you a bottle of Sprite. Thanks for being on the show.
And today the topic is, we do one topic a day on this show, Ham, and slowly tick off the 27 trillion available to us, is Survivor.
Survivor. That is the topic that got picked out of a hat by a supercomputer with a big arm on it. We're not in charge of the computer.
No.
We just have to do what the arm finds in the hat and the bit of paper it hands to us. We know it's not currently a huge show, but it is a very important show, Survivor.
Survivor, the TV show, that is.
Yeah, as far as the TV show goes. I mean, it invented the reality genre. It's the longest running reality show. It's probably nudging on the longest running show ever.
And judging by the amount of correspondence we've got, we think it's popular. That's why we want to play our own radio version of it.
Hamish and Andy's Tribal Council.
However, we don't have a lot of time.
No.
Now, obviously, the TV version of Survivor goes for weeks and weeks, months.
Yes, we've
and
got around about 15 minutes.
not a lot
left.
of time. People have a lot of time to form alliances, really think about who they're going to vote off. Those are the two big differences between TV Survivor and Radio Survivor. In Radio Survivor, you don't have a lot of time to think, and you don't have a lot of time to move.
But we should jump into the contestants anyway, Cam. We're going to meet our contestants, but we'll space out the name of this game first and start with the first challenge.
Challenge 1. What is your name?
Hey, that's all the Survivor contestants are allowed to say in round one. There will be a tribal council at the end of this.
Yes, contestant 1, what is your name?
Josh.
Thank you.
Josh, thanks, Josh.
Contestant 2, what's your name?
Laura.
Yep. Contestant 3, what's your name?
Steph.
Contestant 4, what is your name?
Nick.
And contestant 5, what is your name?
Matthew.
Matthew. Ooh.
Matthew.
Okay.
All right, well, here's how it works. At the moment, everyone can hear each other.
Yeah, we've got Josh, Laura, Steph, Nick, and Matthew. You've got 10 seconds, guys, to create alliances before the first voting out.
Go.
Matthew, I'll go with you.
Matt, let's go together, Matt.
Laura, Matthew, do you want to go with me?
Time is up.
Okay, now everyone gets put on hold.
Everyone gets back.
Everyone gets put on hold. Now they can't hear each other. They can't hear each other. And we will now go through one by one and see who people vote for.
I was surprised at how many people wanted to go for
Well,
Matt.
the problem is you should really say, like, hi, it's Hamish, Andy, go for me. Because everyone just was like, hey, Laura, be with me. Who are you talking to?
It's time for Tribal Council.
Do we have Josh?
Yep.
Josh, who are you voting for? They can't hear you, by the way.
I'm going to vote for Steph.
Oh, gotcha.
One vote for Steph. Yep.
Thanks, Josh.
Laura, who are you going to vote for, Laura? They can't hear you, by the way.
For Nick.
For Nick. Okay, well done. Okay, moving on to Steph now. Steph, who are you going to vote for?
I'll vote for Laura.
Okay, thanks very much.
She didn't vote for you.
At the moment, God, Nick, based on the name solely, who are you going to vote for?
I will vote for Matthew.
Matthew, okay. And finally,
Matthew, just based on name and bearing in mind they can't hear you, who are you going to vote for?
Josh.
It's a tie. It's a five-way tie. Can we get everyone back up? All right,
guys.
Everyone can hear us.
Yep.
Look, it's a five-way tie. So
you all go through to the next round, and we'll vote out 2 in the next round.
Okay, well, 2 people go in the next round. Okay, well, hang on the line. We're going to go to a song. 2 people are going to go in the next round.
How did it become a 5-way tie? The odds of that slim.
Very slim. All right, it's not going the way we
Radio
thought it would.
Survivors continues after this.
We're going to get someone off
It's
this
a
thing.
happy hour. We're in the middle of a game of Radio Survivor. It's a much quicker. Obviously, the topic today is Survivor. It's much quicker than the TV version.
It's very cutthroat.
Yeah.
So the way it is, we've got 5 people waiting on the line. They can all hear this, but at certain times during Trouble Council, they can't hear each other, so they don't know who each other's voting for. We've still got 5 on the line after the first round, which is just saying your name only.
It's time for round 2.
Challenge 2. What is your job?
Okay, the only thing you're allowed to say to the group is your job. We start with Survivor number 1. Josh, what's your job?
Window cleaner.
Lovely.
Number 2, Laura, what's your job?
Work in retail.
Gorgeous.
Okay. Steph, Survivor number 3, your job?
Student.
Lovely.
What is your job, Nick, number 4?
Student pilot.
Send pilot. And Matthew, number 5, what's your job?
Photocopy technician.
Photocopy technician. All right.
Okay.
You guys have got
We're
10
heading to Tribal
seconds.
Council. No, we're not. So you've got 10 seconds to make alliances.
10 seconds to make alliances. Go.
Laura, Alliance, we're girls. Okay.
Boys, let's stick together and vote that.
All the boys stick together. All the boys stick together.
Time's up. Time's up. Put them on hold. Put them on hold.
How interesting.
Yeah. An interesting move
All the
from
boys.
Steph.
People are yelling
She
all the boys.
started it.
All the boys stick together. But
The-
both Nick and Matthew voted for boys in the last round.
I think another big difference from our game to theirs is you can hear everyone trying to make alliances.
All right.
Okay, Josh, time for you to vote. Who are you voting for?
Laura, I hope the boys stick through with me and go through with it.
You hope they
Okay,
are. So it's going with Laura.
Good
Wow.
work. Good work,
Yep.
Josh. They can't hear you, by the way, but thanks
Okay,
anyway.
well done. Laura, are you going to stick with your girls' rule move or are you going to backstab Steph? What's your vote?
Oh, I think I'll stick with it and I'll go with Josh.
Okay, lovely stuff.
Steph.
Steph?
Who are you voting for, Steph?
Mitchell.
I love the conviction with which you said Mitchell, but there is no Mitchell. I'm trying to think we've ever had on the TV version. Sorry, Steph.
That's all right. No problem.
You just don't see it on the TV.
I've watched it so much, so I know how to say it.
Okay, so what about Nick or Matthew? I think that's who you're going for, I guess. We just don't have a Mitchell on the...
Oh, bum. Yep, Matthew. The M's.
Yeah. Sorry, I understand because it all happened so fast. It's hard to get people's names. Thanks, Steph.
Nick. Sorry, Nick. You wouldn't have any idea what's happening because you can't hear each other. But Nick,
No.
who are you voting for?
I'm going to vote for Steph.
Oh, okay.
Could be another tie.
Okay, Matthew, are you going to stick with the Boy Alliance or are you going to go against it, mate? What are you thinking? Is this part of a cunning game?
You know what? I think I will stick with the Alliance and I'll vote off Steph.
Okay. So they all come back.
Okay, everyone's off hold.
Everyone's off hold.
Sorry to be laughing. Again, this isn't what Jeff Probst never gets the giggles. Especially not at Tribal Council. Okay. And sorry, somber faces on because I'm sorry, the first person voted out of Radio Survivor is Steph. Sorry, Steph.
Sorry, Steph. It didn't
That's
work out.
not me.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Okay.
Guys, very quickly
Time into the next round.
into the next round.
Challenge 3. Your favourite song.
Okay,
Okay.
so just going through very quickly. Josh, what's your favourite song?
Snow Patrol chasing cars.
Okay. Laura, what's your favourite song?
Pompeii by Bastille.
Okay.
Lovely.
Nick, what's your favourite song?
Thanks for the Memories by Flight Boy.
And Matthew, your favourite song?
It's Always a Good Time by Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yeah, great.
Okay, all right.
Okay, guys, 10 seconds to form alliances based on that information.
Boys stick together?
Boys, let's stick together, yep.
Yeah.
Steph, work hard. I mean, Laura, work hard.
Josh, any chance?
Sorry, bye, Laura.
All right, we go
Well,
to Tribal Council now, have we?
The lamb,
Time is up.
the lamb is heading to the slaughter.
It seems. Josh, what is your vote? Everyone can't hear you. Are you going to make a turn now?
Definitely Laura.
Laura, okay. Laura, what is your vote, Laura?
Matthew.
Okay. And Nick, what's your vote?
It will be Laura.
Okay.
this is
And
brutal.
Matthew, what's your vote?
Josh.
Oh.
Put him on hold again.
It's a tie, isn't it?
Yeah, which means they both have to go.
Yep.
Guess what, guys?
Guys, are you back?
Yep.
It's a tie. You both have to go. Laura and Josh.
No.
Josh, you were backstabbed by someone.
You were backstabbed by someone, but who? Who? We'll find out after this as you guys all become the jury and we see Nick and Matthew head to the final round. It's the Happy Hour and Radio Survivor. Today the topic is Survivor, but you're in the middle of Radio Survivor, where 5 contestants have been battling it out for at least 10 minutes now, and we've seen people go by the wayside. Laura and Josh have both been voted out, as well as Steph. We're down to 2 contestants.
So this is how it works now at the end, and bearing in mind, people only got to say their name, their job, and their favourite song. Based on that, alliances were formed and broken. People were voted out. It's come down to Nick and Matthew. Josh, Laura and Steph, though, get to vote for who they want to win out of Nick and Matthew.
They become a jury, in effect.
Just because we're running out of time, barreling through this. This was never meant to go long. All Nick and Matthew get to do now is for 10 seconds. You're going to have to talk over the top of each other. Let's just hear you guys plead your case as why you should win. Go for it.
Look, the girls, Nick speaking here. Look, if I'd met you earlier, I think we could have gone the whole way, but unfortunately, the way it just played out, just the guys stuck together, unfortunately.
Nick, you've used the whole time. Matthew doing a Tony Abbott, deciding to stay quiet.
No, but maybe that was maybe that was the clever move there. Matthew, you still on the line?
Yep.
Yep. Good. Set that one out.
We put them all on hold now, and we go through one by one, Ham, of the jury. We must stress you are voting someone to win. And we're going to start.
Who do you want to win? Do you want Nick, who pleaded his case there, or silent Matt?
Josh, you've got the first vote for who should win.
I think I'll vote for Nick because I think Matthew's the one that stabbed me in the back.
Oh, okay.
Well guessed, Josh, because he did. He really
sorry,
did.
Josh, what made you think that, by the way?
Because Nick was talking about the boys sticking together and Matthew said nothing. It was probably the guilt that made him stay quiet.
Yeah, okay, nice. Okay,
Jeez, really well done.
Here comes Laura's.
Really Simon Baker, that one.
Laura, what is your guess? I mean, sorry,
Laura, who do you vote to win?
Well, we've lost Laura. Okay, Steph, are you there?
Yep.
First voted out. Who do you vote for the win?
I vote for Nick.
Nick, it means we don't even have to go to Laura.
Don't even have to find Laura. Nick, you have won Radio Survivor.
Yeah, he's not back off hold yet. He doesn't know.
Oh, he doesn't know. Nick, are you there?
Nick, are you there? And Matthew,
Nick.
are you there?
Yep.
Well,
Matthew, bad luck. You just missed out.
Yes.
You can't help but think if you pleaded your case during the time allotted. Oh, yeah, good on you taking it well, and well may you take it well, because there is no prize.
Matthew, there was a feeling that Josh had that you did stab him in the back. We can't confirm with Josh or deny whether that happened.
He certainly might listen to the podcast and find out. But Nick, mate, well done. You've won the Radio Survivor, a game we probably won't ever play again.
This is unreal.
You've got yourself a Happy Hour coaster. Yeah,
Wow.
you got a coaster.
That's great. When they get made and when we suss it out of design,
You got the
and get them
first
shipped.
You got the first
You've got
coaster.
The first one. It's all we've got time for. Thank you guys for playing today.
Nick, I feel like you're asking a few questions there about the coasters. Don't have the answers for you because I just thought of it then. But we will get them made and you'll get a coaster sent to you.
HamishandEddie.com if you want to check out the podcast with that whole thing, back-to-back, no songs and ads. It's so epic. That's the way you want to be able to listen to it. We will catch you soon, everyone.
Have a good one.
That was the Hamish and Andy Show podcast, powered by Amy. Lucky you're with Amy.